TV, what's long last? I know well-deserved. Huh, bro. Well-deserved about time. You got a Barron Street hit them hard boy on here, he man. This has been years in the making here. Yes, it has. But you know better now than never. Absolutely. You dig and everybody get their time. I feel like this has a line correctly, so correct. I'm here, you here, let's do it. Let's lay it all out. Vlad, all right, first time here. Yeah, want to start in the beginning, okay? Grew up in New Orleans. Yes, I have. What part? Uptown, New Orleans, Barron Street, Barron and Martha King. That's where Cash Money in them are. More like baby. Baby is Mao, like Saratoga, and N. So he lived on Saratoga, and I Mo, like down the street from baby. And no, and baby also lived in like the 13th wall and the Magnolia and all that there. But the baby, we know the B-32 and all that. He's Surratt Rattlebounds, so baby is one of our own. Believe that, baby. So Cash Money Turk and all them boys is out, the Magnolia. But we from a residential neighborhood. You dig, that makes sense, well. Terrance Gangster Williams, that's my dog regular on my show. Yeah. Do you remember him running around with the hot boys and everything? Yes, I remember Ganga tell you, I think he used to date my aunt, Ganga did. Oh, I don't want to say day. I think he just used to. It though. But okay. Yeah. I just talked to Gangster though, and he told me he was proud of me for getting on Vlad, and you dig. So shout out the Gangsta, you hear me. And I don't feel like when it come to the gangster situation, a lot of people, and this is my opinion, bro, when they feel way, it's like a double Ed SW gangster. Some people feel like what he did was not cool. Some people feel like he did what he had to do. My opinion, I don't know what I would have done. You dig? It's the dead. It's the dead. I don't know, that's a tricky one. I guess you got to be put in that standpoint to be able to make that decision. I don't know what I would have done. It's the dead. I don't know. But shout out to Gangsta, because at the end of the day, with him. And that's all that matters to me. I seen him growing up, and he was a legend. He was about everything he said, everything he said. Well, right, he's a few years older than you, yeah. So did you know about his reputation and everything else like that? Everybody knew about Ganger Rep, knew about G Gangster was no sucker, bro. He was no ho. They was, the hot boys. They was about the issue and everybody was afraid of him. But yet they was glamorized as well. It's a tricky one to be failed and also idolized. That's what I would say. The reputation, the Gangsta and his whole crew, they were feared and idolized at the same time. Well, your name, it came from BG's character, it did. And B Blacking, it did. Yeah, it came because of that. It's because I was trying to figure out, my Paul went to prison, pardon me, in like 96, 97. So when my Paul went to prison, I was practically on my own. Anyway, because right after that, my grandma passed, and then my grandma passed. She left a little house on Felicity, and I had that house for like 3 months. So I was practically living in that house until the went off. And then all the notes and bills came, and I was about 13 years old. And when my grandma passed, I was practically on my own. Then I started doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. My oldest brother, Barry B., he was across the river doing he wasn't supposed to be doing. He get killed, I get graze, I'm in the hospital, and basically, at that time, bottle blocking was on his way about to drop. So my cousin came, and I don't know if you remember DVD players, but of course he came and brought me a DVD player, and I was tweaking to watch BL blocking. And when I was always a fan of BG anyway. Growing up more than all the hot boys. I love every last one of the hot boys. Yeah. But BG just... I don't know, you dig when I seen B blocking, bro. I just was like, it influenced me to want to be a rapper. I felt like I can do it. I felt like I can do it. Then I got Graz and I'm like, say, bro, I just got tired of the New Orleans lifestyle, and I was 13 years old. You dig? I wasn't in school, bro. As I'm filming, I'm driving through parts of my city, and I just start feeling a way about it. It's like everything is falling apart. I cut the camera off, and I could feel the emotion welling up in me, but I didn't want the camera to catch it. My homie was like, come on, man, turn it back on. I told him, nah, this isn't for the camera. This is real. This is my hood. This is where I grew up, and I just feel like the city's being thrown away. It's like the government or whoever is responsible for this is just letting it all go to ruin. I couldn't hold it back. It really hit me. I was just thinking about how New Orleans should have been rebuilt after Katrina. They should have poured more resources into the city. But you know how it is. Money gets pocketed, and nothing changes. It's crazy to see how run down everything is. I drove down Claiborne Avenue, and I was like, man, what happened here? The streets are messed up, and it just feels wrong. It's frustrating. But what really gets me is how they're using these orange cones and barricades to fix things. But nothing's really changing. It made me paranoid too. I went to visit an old friend before I left, and as we drove through, I could feel the tension. I got beef from the past with people in Uptown, and even though we're older now, it's still real out there. You can't just let your guard down. I went to the Magnolia area and filmed the spots where things went down for me. I visited the place where I got shot, the spot where I had to pull a gun on someone. It was surreal, and it made me realize how much the city's changed for the worse. There's a lot of love in New Orleans, but there's also a lot of pain. And when I went back, I couldn't help but feel like I was just a tourist in my own city. I'm on edge now, knowing that everyone can spot me from social media, but I don't know who's watching me. There's this moment when I drive through the old parts of my hood. It was rough seeing how much had changed. It's like they just let the community deteriorate, and it really struck me hard. I had to turn off the camera because I didn't want anyone to see that side of me. It was personal. When we talk about the government and New Orleans, it's like they should have invested in the city after Katrina. The money should have been used to rebuild, but instead, it's being misused. Places like Claiborne Avenue are practically falling apart. I never thought I'd see the day when this city, my city, looked this way. Even though a lot has changed, and not always for the better, there's still a strong bond to the city. I've got love for New Orleans, but there's also a sense of fear when I'm there. You never know who's watching or who's waiting for something to happen. That was the reality when I went back. I also had the chance to go to Louisiana Fest, where the Hot Boys reunited for the first time in over 20 years. I was supposed to go to the concert, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I had a whole film project lined up, and while I wanted to see them perform, it just didn't feel right. The group was celebrating their legacy, but it hit me that there's a lot of people, like my brothers who passed, who were behind that success. They aren't here to see it. Cash Money has been able to stay together, but no limit. A lot of those guys are gone or locked up. It's bittersweet, you know? I couldn't show up as a fan when there are people who paid the ultimate price for that success. I had tickets, but I couldn't be there clapping and cheering for them like it was just a regular show. But seeing them all together again, even though I didn't go to the concert, it felt like a proud moment. It's like seeing something you helped build finally come together. It felt like watching a child graduate. You weren't around for all the years, but now they're making it, and you can't help but feel proud. Shout out to Reality Street stars, big love.